And welcome back to another episode of Reframe Your Thinking with your coach, Justin Ford, Coach Ford X. And I'm excited to do a follow up. Um, One of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about in this follow up in episode two was handling the seed of doubt and understanding where doubt comes from, right? And understanding how to deal with doubt and how to deal with people and guard your attention. And I really want you to understand this. But real quick, my first book is coming out on my birthday, 5/5/24. Just do your job. I'm excited about the book. I'm excited about the um, to present some works and some different ideas that I have going on. And so the most important thing about what I'm doing is my own doubt, right, and my own anxiety and fears when it comes down to doing things of this nature. So to the board, right? So book released 5/5/24, and what's important about attacking or going after the things you fear or are concerned about is doing right and practice. And I talked about this in the first episode, which is practice and trying to improve and do the things and tactics. So I'm a living embodiment of the things that I'm saying. So for me, it's one of those things like, do I really want to get on YouTube and turn on the camera and put myself out there in front of the world? And so it's not necessarily about that. It's about challenging myself to be comfortable in the space and time that we live in. And so for me as an entrepreneur, I see the space and time that we live in. And so the opportunity to showcase some of my talents and some of the things I've been learning and understanding and learning really and learning how to be this personality on the internet and sharing my thoughts. So, the biggest thing about the seeds of doubt, and I drew a picture of this uh, yesterday, right? And then we're going to draw a line in the sand. And then here's the other. So this is doubt, and this is faith, right? And understanding that both live magically within you, and they're the same side or two sides of the same coin. And because they're two sides of the same coin, it's very important that you understand. And the reason why I followed up on it, because I listened to my last video and I felt that I left some things on the table in regard to doubt and faith and overcoming fear and anxiety and things of those nature. Um, Here, the reason why it's so easy to give this life, right, and to give all of its nutrients is because your point of reference. Okay. Your point of reference. And what do I mean by point of reference? So you start your life here somewhere, right? And you have these experiences, right? And then you go to the next experiences. And you experience letdowns, right? You experience things of this nature, such as ideas not working or people shooting down your dreams. And, really that seed of doubt comes from somebody else. And what I've learned is you have to attack doubt as quickly as possible. You have to really go at it, right? And it's important that you understand why you need to attack this and why you need to comprehend um, why you need to get it out of your thinking and guard your attention. And so I posted this on uh, my threads at Coach Ford X. So go check me out, connect with me there. Posted on my Coach Ford X, guard your attention. And what I meant by that was, what are you pouring into? What are you watering? What nutrients are you giving into your life? And so I've been blessed and fortunate to work with some high level people and go over these concepts with them. and share these thoughts and opinions. And so, as I have more conversations and the more I read and the more I study, right? So I'm not just sitting at home talking to you about these things. I'm studying. I'm studying people in the industry, and I'm studying different leadership, and I'm studying high level people success, people in everyday life, and the difference between high level successful people, what we consider as those high level successful people, is they're not afraid of the risk. Risk of what? Risk of exposure, risk of putting themselves out there, risk of doing the things that the average or ordinary person would be afraid to do. And so here's what my challenge to you is to help you reframe is to reframe your thinking, right? And why reframe your thinking is important. So I talked to one of my clients today, and I said, hey, I want you to give me your ideal picture. What would your picture frame look like? And I want you to do this exercise at home, right? And so she started drawing the picture frame. And so let's draw our picture frame. So here we started creating the picture frame of that, right? So both of these two things live in the front. And you can put whatever your things. I'm going to put abundance here. And I'm just going to put complacent here. And so, why are these two things on the side? Well, because your picture frame and the things that you fill it with are a collection of your experiences. And because it's a collection of your experiences, understanding how to assimilate the two conversations, right? So, as soon as you start doing something, and I always thought this was interesting. I didn't think it was true, partially because I'm an extremely stubborn person. Was there's no way that when you start trying to pursue a goal or pursue an objective, that life tests you, and it really does. And so I'm looking for another color. Bear with me. I'm looking for another color expo marker. Give me one second. And I'll get better at this. I trust me, I have a plan. And so whenever I'm coaching, my players crack up at me because I'm always all over the place, right? So now let's reframe. Right? And that expo marker's not working. So that's not good. I'm gonna throw that one away. So that one's not good. But anyways, you get the idea. We have to reframe your thinking. And it starts with this guy right here, this person inside your head. Who is this person? Like, what are their thoughts? And I would challenge you to write out these thoughts and have a conversation with why you're having these conversations with yourself. And here's a cool little thing right there. Coach Ford, check that out. Yeah. So have these conversations with people and have conversations. And you got to start having hard conversations. Have the hard combo, right? Have the hard convo. And what I mean by have the hard conversation with people um, that it starts with yourself, okay? And other people in your circle. And if there's people in your circle that does not make you feel good about the things you're trying to accomplish, you should really say, hey, I don't think this is working. And I'm going to have a lot of hard conversations. I've had a lot of hard conversations with people with directions and things that I want to go, because really what people will do is they'll try boxing you in to their needs and the things they want, right? And not necessarily what you want. And the thing you may have for your life may be totally different than what somebody has for you. And we're all a part of this great community of life, right? Like it's not just me living in my home and I'm doing these things by myself. Uh, we have a greater community, and one of the things that I wanted to do first was to overcome my own self doubt and my own self fears. And why am I being honest with you? So, as a coach, when I'm coaching my players, I share experiences with them. They don't really care about what I have to say until they know that I care. And that's very complete. And I hear it all the time. So, what I've learned here is the more I can help guide people through their experiences and help show players. And really, most of my experience comes from um, the sports industry and being in the sports background and having the opportunity to work with athletes. But everything in the sports world translates to everything else and vice versa. But I see more of a crossover from team sports than I do anywhere else. And so, what am I saying? Uh, as I'm developing these concepts in the coaching and I'm teaching people and I'm learning to articulate the points, I'm getting better at this. I'm practicing. So I cannot tell a player, I cannot, with all honesty, tell a player, hey, this is what you need to be great and successful. And go home and turn on the PS5 or turn on the TV and not make the attempt to improve my craft and not attempt to improve the things that I'm trying to do. And so I have a defined vision and purpose for my life and things that I want to accomplish. And there's a lot of things that I have to learn. So what am I telling you? I'm teaching you in real time how I reframe my thinking, right? How I change my thought process, how I'm finding, and this is a great book. You need to go get this book. 10x is easier than 2x, right? And if you follow our book club 4x book club and mastermind on Facebook, join us there. Join me on my website at Coach 4x. Um, I share these books. I share a variety of things that I'm learning, and what I'm learning is to take notes, and I'm getting better at this. But don't, and here's the thing, no middle notes. I mean, you can take middle notes, that's okay, but I would recommend you get back to some old fashioned handwritten notes. And why handwritten notes? One, you're working with the information and you're acting, right? And you're thinking out the conversation. And so thinking is actually the hardest thing most people will never do. Why is thinking hard? It's a great question. Why? Why is it hard? Well, and I had this conversation earlier today with one of my clients' parents because society has blocked our ability to be creative and imaginative. So whenever we start thinking about circumstances, we think about our past experiences and the things that shaped us to this moment, the things that cause us pain, the things that cause us trauma, and those things generally override anything positive. And I've had to overcome this. And I'm actually developing my second book as we speak. I won't go into too much detail on the second book, but I've had to overcome these things. And what I'm doing is I'm developing. I'm developing as a person. I'm developing as a coach. I'm developing in my communication. I'm developing in my ability to give speeches. I'm developing all across the board, right? So it takes some boldness and it takes uh, uh, a willingness to step outside the comfort zone that most people aren't willing to do. They're willing to let doubt beat them. And I'm going to write this on the board. They're willing to, and I want you to hear me very clearly, allow doubt to win, to stay in the comfort zone. So they're willing to allow doubt to win in order to stay in the comfort zone, because in the comfort zone, there is certainty. Well, life stays the same if I keep working hard, if I keep doing this, and you're exactly right, work hard. I'm not interested in doing that anymore. I have a vision that and a specific goal in mind that I have, and that takes me out of my comfort zone. I'm very uncomfortable now doing this video and doing these videos things, but I had to get better at it. It's practice. Like, I'll learn, I'll grow. When I first started playing basketball, I didn't know what I knew about the game. I didn't know the tactics and strategies. I didn't understand those things, but I found the people who did know those things. And I learned from them, and then I learned from my coaches and those people, and I had a lot of great conversations. And so, as I'm developing my ability to coach, I'm doing the same thing. I'm learning to read. I'm learning to write. I'm learning to do these things better. Well, you say, well, didn't you already learn how to read and write? Well, I learned to read and write from a traditional sense, right? So school, right, and I love school, right, and I'm a teacher, and so this is not what I mean, but traditional schooling, right, uh, they kind of cap creativity unless you take art classes or you take music or you take some of the electives. And I would highly recommend people take the arts and show an interest in art, because it took me a long time to be okay with being a creator and being in tune and intrinsically motivated by my own art and my ability to write. And I've always been a fan of music, and I've been a fan of theater, and I've been a fan of art, and I've been a fan of movies. So movies is really uh, the thing that keeps me going and motivated, because I love watching a good Denzel Washington movie, right? His ability to sell me on the script, his ability to draw me in through his acting, and so the thing that going back to doubt, right? And so don't allow doubt to win. And so we have to reframe those action items. You get a notebook, and you need to do a notebook, and you need to commit to journaling, and you need to commit to writing out your thoughts. You need to commit to look. I have journals, and here's the thing: consistency. Learn to be consistent. I have I have these notebooks, and I think I got notes in here from today, and just thoughts and opinions that I have, and different types of notes. And when I'm done with here, I'm gonna take more notes because I'm motivated, and I'm intrinsically motivated. And hear me very clearly: intrinsic motivation is totally different than external rewards, and this is why external rewards only last temporarily. Put it internal motivation. I have internal motivation, intrinsic motivation. And we have to help you find your intrinsic motivation, your internal motivation. What is the thing that you can do uh, to help take your life to the next level? And those are the people that I'm looking to work with. The people that are ready to break free, and they're done with making excuses, and they're tired of the same old. I'm going to go back to the book 10X is easier than 2X. Uh, there's some concepts that Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy discuss in the book that I really want you to comprehend, right? And so, um, I'm not going to say this is where the reframe your thinking was born from. I actually learned this concept on my own in my doctoral studies, learning restructuring organizations and different things of that nature. And so I've learned a lot. And so as I'm creating and as I'm learning about things that I'm going to be leaning towards in my doctorate program, and as far as my dissertation. And so for my dissertation, I have a defined goal and objective with that. I know exactly what I want to write about, and I'm not going to divulge too much online, but I'm going to talk about teamwork, right? And the importance of teams. And in the books uh, that Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy have worked together on, they talk about teams. And every person that has talked about high level of influence has talked about teams, have had mentors, have had coaching. What I've noticed is for people who don't reach high levels of success, or they don't um, take that turn of a page, or if they don't, or they're not able to reframe your thinking. I'm not even trying to hit you on the reframe your thinking, because clearly at this point you understand the lesson. reframe your thinking. Okay, we'll do it this way. Reframe your thinking. And you know what? While I'm studying myself and I'm observing my behaviors and I'm studying the things I don't like in real time. So here's the thing that I learned from Steve Jobs. Okay, so I was listening to a YouTube video earlier, and I was listening to Steve Jobs, and he was talking about getting started. And so here's the most important thing: getting started. And if you don't learn anything else, I know, because you're like, man, what is this guy talking about? Go back to episode 1, come replay this, and you understand we're talking about seize it down, and I'm talking you through how to handle it and having a conversation with you. But so Steve Jobs was talking about, you'll never get good at the thing you want to get good at if you never get into it and get started and seeing the nuances to it. If you don't see the little details, if you don't see the things that you need to learn about the things you need to learn, like I said, when I started coaching, there's things I did not know. When I started playing basketball, when I started being a part of a team, there's things that I did not know. There's certain behaviors that I did not comprehend, and so as you learn and grow, as you be a part of a team, as you learn to articulate your points and redefine your thinking and reshape that and change your point of reference. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I get passionate about this, man. I really do. And I'm excited. I get enthused. And this, as Myron Golden would say, this is community content, right? So I'm producing community content. I don't want anything from this. I really don't. I'm challenging myself to be better. I'm challenging myself to stretch beyond possible. I'm challenging myself to accomplish the impossible for X Media. I'm challenging myself to do the things that I've always thought I was capable of doing, but I stopped myself because of fear and opinions of others, right? And that's a dangerous spot to be in, because the world needs you to be your greatest version of yourself. It needs you to be who you're supposed to be and who God has called you to be. And so you got to get started. Whatever that project is, whatever that thing you're afraid of, whatever the thing is you're looking for, get started, work with it, learn, document, study, practice it. Just don't do it to do it, right? Do it to develop some comprehension. Do it to develop some understanding, right? And once you start to get comprehension and understanding, the more your brain grows and develops. So what I learned from, and in the book 10x easier than 2x is a great book. And tons of books. I had tons of books recommendation. You need to go to Ford X Basketball, not Ford X Basketball. You can go to Ford X Basketball too if you want to, but you need to go to Ford X Book Club and Mastermind, right? And so we're building a community of like-minded people. We're developing a community of people that, quite frankly, need each other to help grow and develop. I go back to this logo. When I first met my mentor, training her daughter, I didn't know what I knew. I was just a motivated person, just training kids, and it was like a little side hustle. And then I've always been entrepreneur. My ultimate goal is to be an entrepreneur. My ultimate goal is to help other people like me who need that person to say, hey, you can do this too, man. And whatever your endeavors is, I don't know what your goals are, what your aspirations are, but it's possible. And so I look forward to improving this. Just for me, I want to be the best I can be. And here's where people struggle. And I got to change this lighting situation. It's driving me nuts. It really is driving me nuts. Okay. But anyways, be the best I can be. That's my number one objective, to be the best that I can be, to do the things that I said I would do, to become the person that said that I want to become. And if I do those things, then I don't care about others people's opinions. I don't care about the things they have to say about me. Sure, would I take their data information? Yes, I would take their data information. I'm at heart, right? I love data analytics. So when I sit down with my players, we discuss the data, right? The difference between for me and you is we don't have the real-time data of our day-to-day life. For me, I love this aspect. Woo, I'm telling you, I love this aspect of business, to have the data, right? And to see those numbers, and to say, okay, how do we take this from here to there? How can I improve? How can I get better? I don't care about nobody else's YouTube channel. I don't care about nobody else's books. I don't care about what anybody else's beliefs or concepts are, because quite frankly, I have to become the best I can be. And as Jim Rohn says, um, here's what I want. And you have to go look it up. You be the best you can be for me, and I'll be the best I can be for me, and then life can be a lot better, right? And basically what he's saying is you are about becoming the best person that you can, because ultimately at the end of the day, you have control of that, and it's ultimately your job. And it's actually in my book, that started me on this track of reframe your thinking, which is the first step in this, is do your job. Or the title of my book is just do your job. Okay. And that'll be released on 5/5/24. Anyways, so I hope this provides some value in your life. Um, I hope that your President's Day tomorrow is good, um, and I hope that you just do your job, and I hope that you can reframe your thinking, because the world deserves the very best you possible, and if we can get the very best you possible, and if we can get the very best me possible, and if we can be as creative and imaginative as we can be, imagine the things we can accomplish, and that for me is the ultimate objective. The things that I want to see: people being free to pursue, people being not afraid to push the boundaries, right? And in the Who Not How book, by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, which is great books. And I have a ton of books. Again, you need to go to Fordex Book Club and Mastermind. Enjoy the conversation there. And uh, they talk about pushing the boundaries, and I'm pushing my own personal boundaries. Sometimes I put myself in this box, and sometimes we put God in the box, and then we have this giant box, right? Of what? Of limiting boxes, and we're constantly putting ourselves in a box instead of saying, okay, why do we need a box? Why can't we just do some crazy shape, right? And create some piece of work of art, right? In your eyes, that doesn't look like art, but it is art, right? And so the more you continue to create, and you do things, right, you learn things. And so um, your life is as creative and imaginative as you let it to be. Only the people who cannot see the frame or the picture, or who's in the frame, cannot pull out to see the work of art or the things that you're creating, because they want a defined structure of life. And that's just not how life goes. So this has been the latest episode, of Reframe Your Thinking. This has been Reframe Your Thinking 101, and I'm your lead instructor. I'm your coach, Coach Justin Ford X. Join me on my website at Coach Ford X. You can get on Facebook, Meta, um, Twitter. You can see me on Instagram, and you can also find me on Threads, and LinkedIn as Justin Ford. But again, my ultimate objective is to become the best person that I can be at the highest value, in order to help other people become the best they can be of their highest value. And so this has been fun. I challenged myself for 30 minutes. I can go do a lot of things in 30 minutes. And if you took the time to watch this video all the way through, I hope it blesses you. I hope you have a great day. And again, remember to reframe You're thinking. Okay, and I have some exercises coming out on my website here soon. All right. Peace.